Hi everybody and welcome back to the Upside Dan. I got to see The Wild Robot in the 4DX movie theater experience, and I'm here to tell you if it's worth it in the format. Before I get started, please make me your 4DX guy by subscribing to my channel, liking this video, hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any more 4DX content from me. The Wild Robot was one that I was very excited for, but I wasn't really sure how it was going to be in 4DX. There was actually some pretty intense seat movements. I was pretty surprised. There's a lot of animals in this. The robot is getting chased by them, chasing them, falling down, tumbling, falling off cliffs, rolling down hills. Some of that is pretty intense. The first scene, I believe, with the bear, when the bear is chasing the robot, that was actually really thrilling in 4DX. The seat movements were pretty intense. They were definitely more intense than I expected this movie to get. I thought that they did a really good job with that. With all this running through the woods and running around the island, falling into water, rolling down hills, falling off cliffs, climbing up trees, climbing up rocks, whatever, all this stuff lends itself very well to the 4DX experience. There's also the sci-fi element. Obviously the robot, the different robots that may show up in the spaceships. With the gunshots, you feel it, the puffs of air at your neck and ears. You feel the stuff at your ankles as well. When a character flings against something, hits against something, you feel the massagers in your back. And then there's flying in this. There's flying not only with the spaceship and the sci-fi elements, but there's the goose character and a flock of geese. There's a few flying scenes with them. Flying action scenes as well when they're dodging stuff, and that was really fun in this format. They did a phenomenal job with the seat movements here and matching it up to really make you immersed into this film. Water was actually used a handful of times, I think a lot. Wasn't expecting water to be used as much as it was. I know we were on an island and everything, and we see some water stuff in the trailers, but there was actually a lot of water, a lot of characters falling into water, getting out of water, splashes. You're feeling the water rain down from the ceiling with that. You feel the airy mist, whatever, kind of shooting from right in front of you at your face. I thought that was done very well. There's also just rainstorms as well. You'll feel the water raining down from the ceiling of the auditorium. Definitely matched up very well, made it feel more immersive. There was snow in the movie. I know some 4DX auditoriums do snow, maybe yours does. Mine does not do snow. I don't think it ever has. I was actually looking because there's a couple different snow scenes in this film. I didn't see any. It'd be cool, but so there is some snow stuff that you might get if you have snow in your auditorium. And then also with those thunderstorms, that rainstorm is lightning. We get the lights on the auditorium flashing along with that lightning. And not only that, but there's sci-fi elements in this, obviously. Spaceships have like lasers, a big light that elevates people up. There's guns, there's the robots that have the lights, a lot of that stuff. So there's definitely a handful of uses of lights here, and it definitely goes along, especially with a sci-fi film like this where there is a lot of those weapons and spaceships and robots and all that. So you do get a good amount of the lights flashing in the auditorium. It was nothing distracting at all. Sometimes I may have missed some. It adds to the immersiveness. It adds to that ambiance that the auditorium is trying to create, especially when it comes to a sci-fi animated film like this. It's definitely needed in a 4DX auditorium, and I think that they did a terrific job with it. Wind is used a lot as well. Like I always say, it's refreshing sometimes with the wind in the water, especially because if it's a hot auditorium, which it wasn't that bad today, but it's nice to kind of have that wind and water. I shiver a little bit at times. The wind was used very well. There was a lot of establishing shots. There's a lot of times when they're up high on cliffs or hills or mountains or whatever, or in trees, and the wind is blowing in that auditorium, making you fully immersed into the scene because you're feeling that wind, you're feeling the seat movements, you're seeing lightning, you're experiencing all of this. There's flocks of geese that fly around. There's definitely a few flying scenes, and the wind is blowing along with those as if we're flying along with them. The seats moving along with them, flying, diving down from the air in the spaceship, flying with the birds around the spaceship. The birds just flying, the birds just flocking around, the birds migrating. Wind definitely added to the immersiveness of this film because there's a lot of scenes that definitely could use the wind. Fog was used once or twice. Fog was not used much in this film, at least for me. Maybe it was used more for you. There isn't that many opportunities for them to use fog anyway, but there's definitely some uses of fog, like with dust settling. Yeah, it's not much, but there was a couple uses of the fog in the auditorium, and it stayed like low. It didn't really go up in front of the screen, which it didn't need to for this film, because in those scenes when there is fog or whatever, it's not on screen for long, so I'm glad that they didn't overdo the fog. Again, it does help immerse you into the film more, especially if there's a lot of fog on screen. There were a couple uses of scent. This is a film that definitely has a reason for scent to be there. There's some skunk sprays in this film. I got the same old scent, maybe a second one. I couldn't tell. They're very similar. There's nothing that really immerses you into the film. There's nothing that really, that was definitely a skunk smell, a foul smell. That was definitely a nature smell, because there was a lot of nature in this film. It's on an island. They do use the scents a few times. It's just nothing new, so it's not that memorable to me because it's the same scent or similar scents. I think to some people it'll be interesting to see if you guys got skunk smell or just a scent that stinks. Sometimes I can hardly tell you what scenes, but in this I like knew because there was skunk. chunks and stuff, and there's a lot of nature in the film, so there's definitely opportunities for them to use it. It's not really representing what I'm seeing on screen, especially as much as any of the other capabilities. The 3D, really quick, the 3D was okay. This, and actually, I forgot to mention it in my Transformers 1 40X review, but that was in 3D as well. I don't know, I'm not a huge 3D fan. The Avatar films are amazing in 3D. There's definitely been some other films that I noticed more, and I'm like, oh, that was actually pretty good. These two, it has good 3D. 3D is just like an unnecessary thing sometimes. Overall, The Wild Robot, I definitely recommend it in theaters. It's a really solid Dreamworks film, but do I recommend it in 40X? I was actually not sure what my answer would be before seeing it in 40X, but I could say 100% I recommend this film in 40X. I think it's one that the whole family is going to enjoy. It's not too intense, it's not too crazy, it's not too wild. Have you seen The Wild Robot in 40X? What did you think of it in the format? And what did you think of it just as a movie? Let me know down in that comment section. If you liked what you've seen here and you want to see some more content from me, please click around here to see some other content from me. Please like this video, comment on this video, share this video with the movie fans in your life. Hit that notification bell, subscribe, make me your 40X guy, and come to the upside, Dan.